Good evening, everyone. Today, Alan and I will be presenting a paper based on issues of rapprochement between India and China. The paper is titled Foreseeing India China Relations The Compromised Context of Rapprochement. It is authored by Jagannath P. Panda and Atmaja Guhai Borua, and they go on to describe factors that are crucial in determining the slippery slope of Indo China foreign policy. Their shifting relations, though suggesting an official longing for an upward trajectory, are based on a compromised context. External circumstances have pushed them to rapprochement but could also drive them apart. And this paper from 2019 states that whether India and China will sustain this rapprochement is difficult to foresee. We will try to understand what rapprochement means from its Oxford Dictionary definition. In international relations, or rapprochement, which comes from the French word rapprocher, to bring together, is a re-establishment of cordial relations between two countries. In the India-China context, the rapprochement between both countries has been marked within a compromised context, as understood from the title of the paper, and we will see how. According to the Ministry of External Affairs website, in April 2018, Prime Minister of India Shri Narendra Modi and President of People's Republic of China, Mr. Xi Jinping, held their first informal summit in Wuhan to exchange views on overarching issues for bilateral and global importance, and to elaborate their respective visions and priorities for national development in the context of the current and future global scenario. With the rapid emergence of the Indo Pacific as a geopolitical paradigm, the trajectory of politics in Asia is changing, and this can be seen from the dynamic between India and China, which seems to have changed as well since late 2017. As both were strengthening their economic and diplomatic ties following the military border standoff at Doklam in 2017, when India placed troops to prevent China from building a road into territory claimed by its ally Bhutan. New Delhi and Beijing are trying out different forms of diplomacy to determine their spheres of influence while taking their relationship forward. The Doklam border standoff was no ordinary episode in India China relations, with its potential to turn into a small scale war. It tested their diplomatic nerves and skills. Diplomacy was at its core, and both sides successfully averted further escalation. India stood proud that the Indian Army successfully faced the People's Liberation Army for 73 days, something that few Asian militaries perhaps could do. For New Delhi, it was crucial to stop the PLA from constructing roads in the Doklam Tri-Junction area in what it terms a disputed region without triggering a war. For Beijing, its attempt to inject an element of strategic complexity into a politically stable India-Bhutan relationship was successful, as evidenced by China's ongoing attempts to create divisions between India and its neighbors. The resolution of this incident displayed the complexity of India-China relations and how small-scale incidents can spiral without political will. This has made India China relations quite contextual, showing that the foreign policy behavior is determined more by the regional and international context than by domestic factors. Moving forward, we will try to understand the threats to the rapprochement attempts made by India and China to rejuvenate their shared foreign policy. First off, no matter how stable and secure India China relations appear to be post Doklam, the contextual nature of the stability is more or less local. Their bilateral dynamics with the United States, Japan, and Pakistan, and with other smaller neighboring countries, will continue to be important. The 2017 to 2018 revival of the Quadrilateral Security Dialogue, often known as the Quad 2.0, by the new liberal world nexus of Australia, India, Japan, and United States, has raised questions about the seeming stability of India-China relations. The Quad as an Indo-Pacific proposition is essentially a consequence of the growing power asymmetry in Asia and is directed towards achieving equilibrium. Secondly, China's Belt and Road Initiative, BRI, has received both jeers and cheers. India's refusal to support the initiative has not drastically worsened their relationship but has certainly caused problems. So has China's ever increasing adventurism in maritime Asia, with the increase in the construction of ports and other maritime infrastructure in the Indian Ocean region, which Alan will take up in the following slides. China's foreign policy under Xi Jinping exhibits long-term territorial ambitions, both land and maritime. The Modi-Xi meet on the sidelines of the Shanghai Cooperation Organization in Qingdao in June 2018 and in Bishkek in June 2019 was followed by a meeting against the backdrop of the Johannesburg, Brazil, Russia, India, China, South Africa Summit, the BRICS, in July 2018. This strengthened the notion that India-China relations were fast following a personality-centric engagement process and thus proves to be the first point of rapprochement attempt. Secondly, the Chinese Defense Minister Wei Fenghe's visit to India in August 2018 was more for rebuilding the lost confidence between the two militaries. The establishment of a hotline between their militaries and resumption of annual military exercises and dialogues set the course for reframing the faltering relationship and generated an amount of confidence that was most required between the foreign policy of both countries. Most importantly, bilateral trade exchanges between both countries witnessed an upward trend of 25% to almost 90 billion in 2017 to 2018, which has acted as a stabilizing factor for rapprochement, about which Alan will take up in the next few slides.
Both India and China have always independently tried to have a stable and mutually beneficial relationship with the United States. US on the other hand considers India as an important strategic partner for the Indo-Pacific Command. Indian Navy is increasingly exhibiting tendencies to cooperate between US Naval Central Command in terms of force projection of its power. India's interests here majorly lie in expansion of India's naval capabilities and making China wary of India and US collaboration. The very recent AUKUS military pact between UK, Australia, and US actually offers more strength to the Quad, even though India is not involved. Hence, in other words, the India China relations is an offshoot of US China friction. Reprimanding unfair trade practices by China, US imposed duties on $250 billion worth Chinese goods in 2018. China retaliated by imposing tariffs on US products. Even though a truce happened in G20, it turned out to be ineffective. China is looking for other potential markets. The major questions that emerge in the overall context of India-China bilateral relations are the following. 1. How can Indian imports from China be increased without increasing the trade imbalance? 2. Which sectors should be targeted if exports to China are to be increased while avoiding Chinese retaliatory trade measures? And 3. What are the platforms for diversifying production in India to shrink the Made in China label? Undoubtedly, China will suffer a huge loss if it loses its grip on the Indian market. So, reducing trade tariffs on products like rice and amending the double taxation avoidance agreement are crucial to improve the bilateral relation. China's increasing footprint in the Indian Ocean is another huge concern for India. This deals across the Indian Ocean makes our relationship an intensely competitive one. China seeks to reinforce its offshore defense capabilities by entering into military and semi-military alliances with partner countries. This raises suspicions on China's growing foothold.
Contrary to India's advocacy for a multipolar Asia, a unipolar Asia led by China seems to be the Chinese leadership's overarching ambition.